Somehow, in 2026, we're still watching men who violate women, assault teenagers, destroy lives, walk away with just probation. Sometimes nothing. Every time I see another headline like that, my blood just boils. And I'm not just angry at the men who did it, I'm angry at the judges, the lawyers, and this culture that says we don't want to ruin his future. Ruined? He's already ruined his. So let's talk about the pattern, because it's not just one case, it's dozens every year. A promising student assaults a woman, unconscious woman, behind a dumpster and serves just 3 months. A rich young man assaults multiple girls at a house party, gets probation. A frat boy accused of 2 separate incidents walks away with just a year of community service. And a wealthy man who's assaulted a child, the judge literally told him that he wouldn't do well in prison. He raped his own 3-year-old daughter. No, but he wouldn't do well in prison. That would be such a shame to see him go to prison, wouldn't it? Yeah, these same stories are told over and over and over again, just with different names and faces. They're typically young, they're white, they're from good families, wealthy normally, and they have a promising future. So instead of punishment, the system gives them protection. What about the girls they've attacked? What about his 3-year-old daughter, who will have to live with that rape, not only mentally but physically for the rest of her life? Where was her protection? Where is her future? Case after case, the pattern continues. A college athlete was convicted of assaulting a woman who couldn't even wake up to fight back. And the judge said, I think he'll learn his lesson. Where? What lesson? He spent very, very, very little time in jail for assault. Another case was a wealthy kid who threw parties where multiple girls were assaulted in his family mansion. 4 victims came forward. He admitted what he did. No jail time, just probation. And he'll serve no jail because, I quote, incarceration just isn't appropriate. So it isn't appropriate to serve time behind bars for assaulting multiple women. And then there's this man. This man was born into wealth and power, and he admitted to assaulting his own child. He raped a 3-year-old, and the judge said that prison just isn't the place for him. And quite literally said that he just wouldn't do in prison. Just probation for raping a 3-year-old. And you know, every one of those men we do know about, there are so many more cases like this that just never went to trial. The system just protects them because of who they are, because of what they look like, because of who their parents are. And this is about privilege. And it's about the judges who see themselves in the accused and not the victims. And the defense lawyers who know if these rich little white men cry just enough, the judge will pity them. And it's about a justice system that was built by men for men who still think that women's pain is negotiable. And they know if you're rich and you're white, you'll just get a slap on the wrist. That same system that will give a man assaulting a 3-year-old no jail time will so quickly lock up someone different for a minor drug charge. It's basically just protection of power. They're protecting each other. It's the news articles that continue to call them promising students or athletes with bright futures instead of what they actually are, which are rapists. We have headlines that just continue to describe their achievements and all of this positive things, and just very conveniently miss out their crimes. And also just people on the internet comment of blaming the victims of what they're wearing, being too trusting, for just existing. And every time we excuse it, it happens again. Just a question. Do any of you know what it's like to watch the man who assaulted you walk free, to see him and his family smiling in the courtroom, to hear the judge call him a good kid. That kind of pain will eat you up. Tells everyone that your life, your pain, your trauma is less important than his reputation. And that's the kind of message that survivors hear every year. They stop reporting, they stop trusting the system, because the system has shown them exactly what it is, and that is broken. And this isn't about one man, it's not about one trial, it's about society everywhere that values comfort over accountability. The type of society that will treat rape as a mistake if the perpetrator looks like your neighbour's kid. If you're watching this and you feel hopeless, I get it, but we can't look away, because looking away is how this will continue to happen. So here's what we do. We stay loud, very loud. We keep talking, call out the bias every time it happens, whether that's in court, online, social media comments, in person, also very important. Support survivors. We do not silence them. And we demand judges who treat sexual violence as seriously as it is. The system doesn't get to keep doing this quietly. Not anymore. I'm angry, but anger is great fuel. And I'll keep using that anger until the words lenient sentence will never appear next to sexual assault ever again. Because survivors deserve justice, women deserve safety. Because if we don't burn this system down metaphorically, it will keep destroying lives, literally. Stay angry, stay awake, and never ever be quiet again.